Well, what's going on, y'all? This is Minutes with Mellon. Take a bunch of long videos and condense them, make them real short. So today we'll be talking about our presidential candidates. So these are all recent things that have happened. So just wanted to see who you'll be voting for. Let me know. I would like to know. But yeah, let's get it started.
I don't care what the media tells you, Mr. Trump. We support you.
We love you.
Okay, 4 p.m. We've been 4 p.m.
Come here,
for a
let
while.
me give you a
Please
Look at the joy. Here to tell us about it is that young woman herself, Michaela Montgomery. She's also the founder of a grassroots political group to conserve the culture. Michaela, I've been waiting for this interview all morning.
I've been waiting for this my whole life.
So thanks so much for joining us. So you told the president when you were hugging him, I don't care what the media says, we support you. Tell me what you meant by that.
I am so glad that is the first question you asked me. So, of course, in the excitement of everything, I wasn't able to really relay my message, but the general consensus or social media would have you thinking that if President Trump were to show up to the HBCU campuses or walk around the AUC community, that like some angry mob would form or a riot would ensue and that he would not be welcome. And clearly the sentiment in that room the other day was the complete opposite. He was very welcome. People were excited to see him. People showed up in support of him, and people, of course, were from all four institutions within the AUC, the local HBCU community in Atlanta, and they all showed up in support of him. So it's actually kind of crazy to see people in an uproar when all four institutions were legitimately represented, and all four institutions were represented by said students who wanted to support President Trump.
You know, Michaela,
and I really appreciate that we were able to not only let him know that regardless of what social media says, you know, I know they're trying to make us think we're supposed to hate you, but we don't. And additionally, it was a learning experience for my students because they were able to see and experience firsthand how the media can warp the perception of an opinion or a person. Because, like I said, to think that these students who attend these illustrious institutions aren't smart enough to make their own decisions, much so that they would only show support for Trump because he bought chicken sandwiches and milkshakes.
It's offensive.
That in itself is the most disturbing part of it all, especially when you think about the fact that it was mainly urban media outlets that were doing everything in their power to turn other black people against these young black kids who simply were not shy to explore other options.
It's so incredible, and I think you hit it on the head. By the way, the former president, gave a lot of funding to HBCUs. One of the highlights of my childhood was my HBCU tour to figure out what college I wanted to go to. But tell me about the former president and his policies. What is it about him that is gravitating these young people toward the president? And a lot of people, traditionally, Republicans don't do well in Black America. But a lot of young Black Americans like the former president. What is it about him?
I think, and this is a sentiment I get a lot coming from the young people themselves, is that they feel like he's honest. They feel like this is somebody who, while we might not agree with how he says things, how he goes about things, at least he's telling us what it is. We don't feel like this is a snake in the grass waiting for his chance to bite us. This is somebody who's telling us, this is what my plan is, here's how I plan to execute it, here's the people involved, and here's how you can get involved. So they just feel like he's more relatable. And I don't say that to say that, like, you know, they all relate to him. But again, he gives you that relatable feeling to where it's like, hey, I'm just like you. You know me. This is what you said you wanted.
So there's the first video. So there's a lot more other videos with Trump, like how he affected people's lives, how good he is, how great he is. He just seems like a good dude. And then here's Biden. So this happened with the whole diary incident. I just heard about this the other day. This shit is sick.
Diary is pretty crazy. I think it's worth taking a look at. It's not a joke. It's real. And I'd love to get it into your hands.
Okay, so now, ready for this, guys? So this lady finds it, PBD. Her and her friend are like, hey, I'm going to go to a Trump rally. I'm going to try to sell it to them. This is good, you know, what's it called, Tom? Like opposition research when you try to damage the other political opponent?
Yep.
Yeah. So Trump campaign says they can't use it. Trump and them say go to the FBI. So they can't. So they go to James O'Keefe to verify. It's verified. The Department of Justice raids 2 of James O'Keefe's and Project Veritas' houses. And think about it. Have you ever heard of the FBI raiding somebody's house for alleged stolen a diary, which is ridiculous? So this just...
Oh, we have now.
Well, think about it, Tom. This just proves that the FBI is biased and runs the left because they protect Joe Biden. All right, just like when they set up with the Twitter... the FBI was at Twitter for all the negative stories. Now, regardless, the diary is real, guys. Like they authenticated the diary. Not only did prosecutors confirm the diary as being authentic, but Ashley Biden also recorded calling Project Veritas to get her stuff back. Rob, can you play the audio? This is Ashley Biden calling Project Veritas to try to get her stuff back.
Hi, is this Ashley Biden?
This is she. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, I just wanted, so I heard you have a few of my belongings, and so I was going to ask if you could please meet my friend, Eric, who is down in Delray, if you could meet him and get the stuff to him.
There's a diary here. It starts in January. It says, January at the end of a New York month, I'm sitting on a bed at the I building.
Yeah, so if you could just give everything that you have to Eric, that would be really great.
I don't want to give this to the wrong person.
Yeah,
I
check
mean,
this out.
I want to make sure.
At this point, and I don't mean to. I don't want to have to get Secret Service involved in this, right? Because it's a whole process.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I am Ashley Biden. It is my stuff. So if you could just give all of that over.
It is my stuff.
Really...
Okay. And again, so everybody's worrying about, oh my God, they stole. Let's just be honest with each other, guys.
The daughter said it is my stuff.
It's her stuff. So besides the fact that the Biden kids keep leaving things behind that's incriminating the family, one has to ask, like, and we talked about this yesterday with Shane and Connor, is this, PBD, could this be a cry for help? Hunter Biden leaves 2 incriminating laptops at the computer repair shop with videos of him doing drugs with what appeared to be underage girls. His daughter is leaving a diary, which I've never heard of somebody leaving a freaking diary behind. It's as if they're doing it on purpose. And then I read the diary, like I said, I'm going to have Rob put the link up. But guys, Ashley, in the diary, which I'm going to read right now, PBD, she was contemplating whether her father was sexually inappropriate with her when she was a little girl. She mentions in the diary showers with her dad and also talks about them being not appropriate. This is what I'm gonna read to you guys. She said, and Rob's going to put the link in there. I think I'm going to an AA meeting tomorrow night, and maybe he will be there, maybe not. But I always have been crazy, and I remember pulling up my skirt in 2nd grade and showing the boys my underpants. Hypersexualized at a young age. What is this due to? Was I molested? I think so. I can't remember specifics, but I do remember trauma. I remember not liking the Woolzac's house. I remember somewhat being sexualized with Carolyn, and here's where it gets crazy. I remember having sex with friends at a young age. Showering with my dad, probably not appropriate. Okay? It just stopped. Showers with my dad, probably not appropriate. Being turned on when I wasn't supposed to. And then she keeps going, and this, she says, I'm not going to get into that because it's pretty bad, but she goes, I could list all the reasons, but I can't seem to find the solution. And there it goes again. But she wrote that Joe Biden was brought into tears for his daughter just before a Democratic primary debate, PBD, because he knew that if this got into the wrong hands, this was going to get out, and people were going to know about it. Because think about the national threat, Tom. If China or Russia gets a hold of this diary and they find out that, you know, the president was, from her words, sexually in the shower with her, molesting and doing all that type of stuff, I think it opens up a can of worms that's insane.
Tom.
I think this is horrible, and I've read portions of the Bible,
The diary.
the diary that have been made. Now you got me doing it.
Yeah, my bad.
That were made public. And this is a person talking about her journey with AA and a very troubled past. And it must be terribly embarrassing for her for this to be made public. But the other part of this is this appears to be an abused minor that is in the household of the President of the United States.
Yeah.
And implicating the President himself in parts of this. And I find that to be horrifying. I find the fact that her brother is also deeply troubled to be horrifying. And it comes back to parenting, and it comes back to things.
Yeah, and at Rob, it's that mic. Just blow it up just unplug it. There we go.
That's the mic.
Adam was us. I know allegedly Tara Reid said that he pushed her against the wall. This is during the Democratic debates, and he penetrated her. Guys, this is the guy that Ashley Biden constantly wrote about in her diary and why she is. Look, play this clip.
There you go. And then we're going to have... Got it? Okay.
Look at his hands. Just look at Joe Biden's freaking hands. Look, and this girl wrote about what he like. Look how uncomfortable she is. Look. How uncomfortable is this child? And look at the parents. What are you doing? What are you doing? Look at his hand. Look at his hand.
No, not smile. No date till you're 30.
Yeah.
Hey, Angel, how old are you? You're 12. What's your name?
Rubbing her hair.
How are you? The problem is, you guys, you got a hard time.
And you also have the actress. All right. Remember the actress that met him?
Yeah. Look, even the,
was that Eva Longoria?
Eva Longoria grabbing her.
Moved his,
look. He's pitching this little girl. This girl is 8 years old. I forgot her name. She's an 8-year-old girl. She posted something about how uncomfortable that moment was. Yeah, pause it. So I want to ask you a question, PPD. Yeah. As a father, and I know you have little kids, and I think my friend Brady talked about, with his 2-year-old, he had shorts, but he was shy because he was trying to. Have you ever heard of someone taking showers with their kids at an inappropriate age where she can remember and write about it? And you see how he acts. You see how he does. In 2018, Rob, he had a video where he sat there and had to apologize. He goes, listen, I know I'm touchy. I know I'm handsy. And I got to get better. When you see that, and the fact that he has control of the FBI to go raid James O'Keefe's place just to get a diary back, that doesn't. When have you ever heard something like that? That just shows you that the left, the Democrats, own the FBI. I don't get it. These are her words. I didn't make this up. She's saying I was over-sexualized, young showers with my dad, at not an appropriate age. Well, how as a father does that bother you when you hear shit like that and you see him doing stuff like that?
Yeah, the part that stuck out the most is when the daughter said, that's my writing. I wrote it, but you need to give it back. I don't want to get Secret Service involved. The fact that she said, that's my writing, they can't say that's not her writing.
Exactly.
The person who wrote it just said, that is my writing, right? I don't know if you heard that, Rob. If you go a little bit more further.
Oh, yeah. Right there. Because he wants, and by great tactic, he wants to make sure it's hers. He goes, we read this Bible. Is this a Bible? I keep saying Bible because I do read the Bible. This is her diary.
Right there. Pray from right there. Right there. There you go. Listen.
At this point, and I don't mean to, I don't want to have to get Secret Service involved in this, right? Because it's a whole process. Mm-hmm. But, I am Ashley Biden. It is my stuff. So if you could just give all of that over, I would really.
It is my stuff.
It is.
There it is. So there it is. So, but the question, so now, okay. So the question now becomes, what's going to happen?
Absolutely nothing.
So they just go on to discuss the whole topic and how sick he is. So there's Trump and Biden, now RFK, which this is like the old school Democrat. This is like what I grew up knowing a Democrat was. Like, I would probably vote for RFK. Oh yeah, that's right. This was this is Joe Biden. I know you could, at one point, you could download Hunter Biden's laptop. I never did, but somebody posted this on X. What happened? Anyways, it's sick. That's fucking gross. But yeah. This is RFK now.
Do you really think that is an equal
Yeah,
evil to Biden?
I mean, listen, I can make the argument that President Biden is a much worse threat to democracy. And the reason for that is President Biden is the first candidate in history, the first president in history that has used the federal agencies to censor political speech, so to censor his opponent. I can say that because I just won a case in the Federal Court of Appeals and now before the Supreme Court. It shows that he started censoring not just me. 37 hours after he took the oath of office, he was censoring me. No president in the country has ever done that. The greatest threat to democracy is not somebody who questions election returns, but a president of the United States who used the power of his office to force the social media companies, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, to open a portal and give access to that portal to the FBI, to the CIA, to the IRS, to CISA, to NIH, to censor his political critics. President Biden, for the first president in history, to use his power over the Secret Service to deny Secret Service protection to one of his political opponents for political reasons. He's weaponizing the federal agencies. Those are really critical threats to democracy.
Donald Trump, of course, tried to.
That's crazy. You're going to deny a Kennedy Secret Service? Hello? History? That's fucked up.
Overturn a free and fair election. He tried to overturn one, right? He's still fighting in court.
Yes.
How is that not a threat to democracy?
Well, I think that is a threat to democracy. If him trying to overthrow the election clearly is a threat to democracy. But the question was, who is a worse threat to democracy? And what I would say is, I'm not going to answer that question, but I can argue that President Biden is, because the First Amendment, Aaron, is the most important. Adams and Hamilton and Madison said, we put the guarantee of freedom of expression in the First Amendment because all of our other constitutional rights depend on it. If you have a government that can silence its opponent, it has license for any atrocity.
So yeah, that's the three candidates. What do you think?